I swear people love the reaction stuff. They really do. I feel like I should just start driving around and finding things to react to. Like, just drive around and find there's like a dog turn on the side of the road and just get out, whip out my phone. Like, Jason reacts to dog shit. It's like half of YouTube right now. I mean, I can't be mad at it because I kind of want to try. I should do some like audio reactions or something. But I don't get it. I'm trying to figure it out. It's like you're sitting around watching other people react to stuff. Like, what's the appeal? I don't know. I don't know what's going on. It's all about opinions. Hi, folks. Welcome back to the podcast. Heine House Gaming and Tech and reactions. I can't even say it without laughing. I mean, I don't know. I should try it. I've tried pretty much everything you can possibly imagine to try on my channel. Why not try this? Why not? How do you do audio reactions, though? I guess it'd have to be like in the studio where I listen to something, people submit something, and then I listen to it, and then maybe I critique it or talk about it, give some positive reinforcement. I don't know. That actually probably won't work. I don't know. Music's tough. Speaking of music, we have great updates on the Background Beats project, music. Speaking of music, it's good to see you all. Thanks for being here. What episode is it? I don't even know what episode it is. It's been a while. It's a little delayed. It's Monday night. It's been just a busy week here. But it's great to sit with you. Great to hang out. Glad you're here. And going to enjoy the next hour or so with you. Big shout out to the patrons right here, folks. Yo, yo, yo. Shout out to everyone. Ground floor, main floor, game loft. Appreciate you all. Again, I always like to say it because it's true. The show is supported completely, 100% by the support that I'm getting right here from all of the patrons. And big update for the patrons, too. I am doing the patron after party. And I'm going to try to film it tonight after the show. We're going to be talking about backwards compatibility. Actually, I had I was on a podcast, the CFG Gaming Cast, CFG Con Freaks and Geeks, it's called. It's a great group of folks there. And they invited me on the show to talk about the PS5 launch. And so I have some PS5 news to talk about as well. This was last week now. It's kind of old and everyone knows about it. But I have some stuff I still want to talk about. But we started talking about backwards compatibility, and I was realizing as we were talking is that I actually have some opinions on this. And I'll briefly talk about it in the show. And then I'm going to dive in deep, maybe 20 or 25 minutes in the after party. So if you want to take advantage of that, it's only $5 a month in that tier. Let's go back to the slide real quick, just so you can see right there. If you get it on the main floor or above, you get access to that Patreon after party. It's where I dive deep on topics that I can't spend the time on right here on the show. I talk about it briefly, but then we go in hard in the paint, right? Becky, let me smash.
Let me smash, please.
So, let's talk about some stuff. 503-908-5490 is the phone number. If you want to get at me, send me a voicemail. I'd love to hear from you. HeineHouse.com, of course, everywhere else. Make sure to give me a review on your podcasting app as well. I would love to do that. In fact, I just got accepted into Amazon's ecosystem for the podcast. I think that was recent. What was the email? It was iHeartRadio. That was last month. A lot of really great stuff happening. The podcast is growing, and we're being put into other ecosystems, which I really appreciate. That definitely helps with the growth. So thank you for your support. Would love to get a review from you if I could on one of those podcasting apps. Let's talk about some random stuff. First of all, last episode we talked about just a quick update on my nose. I'm like so sick of talking about it, to be honest. I'm like, I'm ready for the surgery to happen and the shit to be over and us just to move on. I'm like so over it. But anyway, I went in. I was expecting to go in and have my surgery, I thought, but what the hell do I know? I basically went in there and just met with my surgeon, after the fact, I was thankful because I'm like, you know what, it makes sense. I kind of want the surgeon to look and inspect what he's going to be chopping off rather than just to be like blindly, like boop, 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 like Ninja Gaiden blades flying around everywhere. So I met with my surgeon. He took a look at it and he said that there's actually 2 raised little blood vessels on the tip of my nose. And you can actually see a little shiner here on the nose in the camera. Yeah, it's slowly getting worse. So, yeah, I'm happy to report that, not that it's getting worse, but happy to report that I'm going in on the 7th to have the surgery, October 7th. So that's like a week away from yesterday, or 10 days from yesterday. So that's good. Good news. So we're going to head in. We're going to do that. Talk to the surgeon. Yeah, he said, yeah, we'll take a look at that. We have to be careful with the blood vessels. Those, if they burst, they could bleed out. Like, yeah, that's crazy, right? It's crazy stuff. Like, the human body is nuts. It's all news to me. So he's going to fix that, correct those. He said, I'm going to have a nice scar in my nose. It will be a war wound. And I'm looking forward to it. I just kind of want to look like, I don't know, Braveheart or something with like the gash on the side of my face, or God of War. I just want to have this big like scar of my face. I should ask him. Hey, could you just like cut my whole face, and then I would like a big scar, not just on my nose, but the whole side of my face if you could. Big and sexy. You can't fade that. You can't mess that up. So yeah, so that was cool. That was way cool. And so that's the update on that. We're going to move on from that. I'm sick of talking about it. Hopefully in a few weeks here, be back to normal. Everything will be good. Foodie talk. We always talk about foodie. You know it. McDonald's spicy nuggets. They've arrived. Oh, yeah. They've arrived. They're there. People are going ape shit for them. And I've tried them. Yep, I did. I'm going to go into my thoughts. But first, here's a word from McDonald's, from them specifically. This is the first flavor change to the classic Chicken McNugget in the U.S. since 1983. They debuted in 1983. Wow. See, a lot of great things happened in the early 80s, right? A lot of great things happened. So they say, we have a feeling you'll be craving more spicy Chicken McNuggets. From September 22nd to September 28th. Oh, this is already way past. Oh, actually today, shit. Maybe we should still take advantage of it. It's the 28th now. Yeah, McDelivery on Uber Eats will give you a free 10-piece spicy nugs with a $20 minimum purchase. They say to keep that celebration rolling. They're celebrating. 22nd through the 28th. Free McDelivery nugs. That's good. They're introducing what they're calling it Spice Assurance. Wednesday, September 16th was Spice Assurance Day, where if you order a 6-piece, you get a free 6-piece on top of it, at no charge. A 12-piece. But we know 12 is not enough. You need 20. Gotta have 20. Anyway, I tried them. I actually thought they were great. Thought they were really good. The nuggets themselves, here's a quick review. Nuggets themselves, not very spicy themselves. They had great flavor. I really liked them. My mind still, I remember the 80s nuggets when we had that like little chunk of gristle and dark meat that was in there. I'll caught you sideways once in a while. You know what I'm talking about? 80s babies, represent. Man, they would catch you sideways. You'd like take a bite and you look in there and it'd be like black. And you're like, okay. Let's just dunk that in the sauce and just forget I even saw it. But no, it was good. I really liked it. However, the sauce that it comes with, the new sauce that's with it. Oh, shit. What's it called? I just had it. It's something hot, spicy, something. There's a sauce that goes with it that they made specifically for these nuggets. That, however, is freaking blazing hot. I came out with a napkin stuck to my forehead. It was full of sweat. I was like, Steph, check this out. She dunked some fries in it and was like, woohoo! You know it.
Winner.
Super hot. So the sauce, however, that could be on, you could use that on anything. If you like spicy sauce. Oh, it's called like hot, oh shit. Was it hot buffalo? No, it wasn't buffalo. Okay, I'm sorry. I don't want to put facts out there that are not facts. So anyway, yeah, try the nugs. They're good. Like them. They probably won't be around for a while, or they probably won't be here forever. You know how these restaurants go. But the sauce, try that. If you like spicy stuff, hit them up. Chuck E. Cheese wants to destroy 7 billion prize tickets. This might qualify as a kid's wildest dream. A mountain of 7 billion Chuck E. Cheese prize tickets. That's enough paper to fill 65 shipping containers, each 40 feet long, with tiny pieces of paper with the images of the chain's mascot. It's Chuck, a rat named Chuck. That's actually a good name for a documentary. A rat named Chuck. There's so many Chuck E. Cheese documentaries out there. Okay, so check this out. It's bad timing, and also the migration into all digital ticket redemption. That's been happening for years, actually. I mean, Dave & Buster's has done that, and there's a lot of other places that have already done this. Chuck E. Cheese kind of the last on the chopping block to adapt this. Of course, their business model and their business in general hasn't been doing well for many, many years. So this kind of makes sense that they would have a whole mountain full of ticket redemption or tickets there. But the tickets is enough to cash in $9 million worth of Chuck E. Cheese prizes. Holy shit. That's a lot. That is a lot. But soon enough, those tickets could be destroyed without ever getting into the eager, pizza-stained hands of the eatery's young customers. The chain, whose parent company filed for bankruptcy earlier this year. Yeah, see what I'm saying? It's tough. They asked the bankruptcy court judge for permission to spend more than $2 million to purchase and destroy the tickets, which were printed before the June bankruptcy. Even before the pandemic happened, the chain was shifting to e-tickets. They were trying to anyway, which reduced the wait times in the chain's 612 locations and cut overall costs associated with the tickets. Yes, it cuts a lot of cost. Hello, yeah. So they're trying to get in. This is just bad timing. They're trying to get into the e-tickets. They're trying to, shift things over for all their machines. They're trying to go to the ticketless system. And then, of course, they have all these tickets that are stockpiled, and then they file for bankruptcy that it's really bad. And then, boom, the pandemic happened. And it's like, wham, bam, Chuck, sorry about your luck. Then once the pandemic happened, the shift was accelerated to provide more contact-free service, but the rapid shift left the suppliers stuck with mountains of 7 billion printed tickets that Chuck E. Cheese no longer wants or needs. Under the bankruptcy law, a company must seek court permission to spend any money on anything. So once you file for bankruptcy, you have to get the court's permission to spend any money at all. So they asked about it. Chuck E. Cheese lawyers argue that it's better to pay to destroy these tickets that are already produced than risk having them fall into the hands of the general public. If they did that, they would have to honor them. They would have to honor them. And the filing here, the company said $2.3 million is what it's going to take that they're going to have to spend to destroy these tickets, to purchase and destroy these tickets.
They're wasting money to do that?
Yeah. But they would either have to do that or the tickets are worth $9 million. So you see what they're trying to do. They're like, if these get out into the hands of people, we would spend $9 million in prizes. Or we can spend $2.3 million and destroy them. And that's what they're going to do. So they are literally spending $2.3 million to destroy paper. Crazy. Crazy times. Sorry about your luck, Chuck. How about some gaming news? Let's run right into it. The PlayStation Showcase. This was the big news. Huge. I put it at the top of the list here. Big news. We all know about it. PlayStation 5 is coming. It's fantastic. A lot of stuff to talk about. I'm going to talk just briefly about the showcase. Spider-Man. See, I have to do that because I have to. That looks like a damn movie. Steph, you said it looks like a damn movie. It looked really, really good. And if the last one was any indication, it was a fantastic. Shit, I know people who rebought a PS4 console during holiday. Was that 2 years ago? Just to get the Spider-Man edition PS4. Talk about pandemic. But yeah, Spider-Man looked really, really fantastic. Looked like a movie. I don't know if it's going to be all, quick time events or CG, whatever nonsense, but it sure did look awesome. We have new COD Blops, Cold War, Call of Duty, new Call of Duty. I'll just briefly mention it because it's going to be 8 terabytes in size to download, so you won't be able to play it anyway, so don't worry about it. This is actually cool, though. It's called Cold War. Takes place during 1981, during the Cold War. I think this is actually really, really cool, and I'm excited to try it. I like the setting. Of course, I know. It's just like doing laundry. It's a rinse and repeat. I know, but I still like it. I don't know what they're going to do for their BR or their multiplayer. It's going to be all the same thing. But I'm excited to try it. I do like the Call of Duty single-player campaigns. Always have. Same thing with Battlefield. So yeah, sure, I love getting online and playing. And that's where it shines. Conquest specifically. But I love the single-player online on these games. And I really enjoyed the last Call of Duty, to be honest. I really enjoyed the single-player. It was nice. Semi-memorable. It was good. I'm going to play it just simply on the fact that they have a C4 RC car alone. The last time we saw an RC C4 car was, 2010? What was that? Modern Warfare 2, I think? Oh, man. So good. Love it. They're also going to be reintroducing zombies back into the mix. People always love the zombies, like a horde mode, basically. So the multiplayer alpha is going to be exclusive on PS4 9/18 through 9/20, which is already gone. Did I miss? Am I 2 weeks out? Did I miss last week? I don't know if I did. Did I literally miss last week's episode? I'm tripping because, folks, okay, and I have to apologize if that's the case. My mind is completely fucked. And I'm just all over the place with things that are going on. So like my schedule is just crazy with all this stuff. And I apologize if I did. I'm like looking at this, I'm like, through 9/20, that I had to have written these notes before all that. So I'm sorry. Anyway, I'm just happy you're here now. November 12th, PS5 launch. Boom, there it is. $4.99 with the disc version and a $3.99 all digital edition. Yeah, very cool. Are you going to be getting one? Did you get your pre-orders? That's already passed. That was also a complete clusterfuck. Same thing with the Xbox. I mean, you would think that, I don't know. It's weird. There's so many, like, we fall short in the weirdest places, right? Pre-orders. We know that bots are taking over Walmart and Target.com. We know that bots are taking over Best Buy, and they're going in, and people are clamoring trying to get a pre-order, and it sucks for the people that really want a pre-order and can't get it. That really blows. Now, I don't contribute at all on bots. It's a good majority of it, and they just flood the websites and crash them. But I almost feel like it's 2020 and we're still dealing with sites crashing because the traffic is heavy. Like, dude, oh man, I don't know. I just feel like this is a crucial time. This is a time for these companies to make their money. This is a product release. Customers are wanting to give you their hard-earned money. And it's like, if a customer's not able to give you their money easily when you sell a product, like, that's a problem, you know? Let's get it together, baby. Get it together. I'll briefly mention backwards compatibility because I'm going to jump into this heavy on the Patreon after party. Shout out to patreon.com/Jason Heine. There's a plug for you. Check it out. No, I definitely appreciate it. Backwards compatibility. It's not going to have it. I mean, it's going to play PS4 games. Bless you, my dear. It's going to play PS4 games, right? And PS5, but nothing else. And they're going to have their little service, their little Sony, whatever it is, PlayStation Now, whatever it's called, or PlayStation Game, whatever it's, I forget what it's called. They mentioned it, where they're going to have a collection of games, 20 or some odd to start games, which is great. But people are wanting backwards compatibility for nostalgic reasons. Now, if you're more of a modern gamer and you don't care about backwards compatibility, then this is not for you. But it's still an interesting topic because you have to look at the different companies. Xbox, Microsoft is offering the same type of backwards compatibility that they did with their Xbox One. So in fact, you're going to be able to play an assortment. There's a list of compatible original OG Xbox, which dates back to 2001. Xbox games, Xbox 360 games, Xbox One games, and Xbox Series X games. All the new stuff. So you start to put that in perspective that if you have a collection of Xbox games and you're going to want to play those on your new console, I mean, there are some games you'll be able to, but you will not at all with Sony. So, and you have to contribute that to like the ecosystem, right? So Microsoft has always used DirectX, their proprietary technology for this. Sony has gone and done other means and other ways of doing that. In fact, they've kind of pigeonholed themselves into there's no way for them to do backwards compatibility because they use different proprietary hardware and software throughout the development of all the PlayStations, right? This is an interesting topic, right? Interesting topic. Do you care and or want backwards compatibility? I know I can already hear a lot of people saying no, they don't care. And when I was on a podcast last week, the CFG Gamecast, they're all PlayStation fans. I definitely realized that. And they don't care about backwards compatibility, and that's totally fine. I'm just looking at apples to apples. I'm comparing the two. It's like this console offers some of it in some capacity. PlayStation doesn't at all. The pricing is about the same. It depends on what ecosystem or what side of the pond you're going to be jumping on, right? So I also want to say just real briefly before we move on is my thing I'm going to bring up in the after party is that it's not our fault. People are like, who gives a shit? Why do you care about backwards compatibility? Who gives a shit? It's not our fault that we want it. I blame Sony. Sony offered it. Hello? Sony offered it in the PS2. The PS2 could play PS1 games. The PS3 at launch, and for I think the first about maybe year of its life, could play PS1, PS2, PS3 games. Then they started removing some hardware and they needed software emulation in the PS3. And then they finally got rid of it to cut costs altogether. Cut costs, right? So we had that. All right? The PS4 was the first console that did not do backwards compatibility for PS3. All right? But we still, it's just because we had that. We've had that. Sony has offered that in the past. So it's not this like, well, why do you care so much about it? And that's the whole conversation. That's the whole topic everyone talks about. They're like, why do you care so much about it? Who cares? Let's look to the future. Look to the future. I get that. But it's just the fact that Sony has offered it in the past. So it's okay for us to be sitting here saying, why not? Well, because the console would be $1,000. And yeah, no one's paying for that. The $600 price tag for the PS3 in 2006 that we doled out was a big one. What was that? With inflation, it's like $800 some odd dollars. Like that's a big chunk of change. So yeah, anyway, we're going to talk about that more in the after party. So tune into that if you want to talk more about it. I want to hear your opinion on it. The PlayStation Showcase, but yeah, fantastic. So we're going to get that November 5th. Did you get a pre-order? I would love to know. Do you have a pre-order fiasco? Because I think everyone did. Everyone did. Rocket League goes free to play September 23rd. It's out there right now, free to play. Check it out. Just a small little tidbit, just letting you know. One of the biggest games ever. Great esports game. People love it. It is absolutely free to play. Check it out. Check it out. Aston Martin is making a sim rig cockpit. That right? Basically, when I said that sentence, I'm spewing out $1,000 bills. I'm literally just spouting out $1,000 bills out of my mouth. Can you see it? Can you hear it? Company has announced the very first racing simulator aimed at the luxury esports market. Is there a luxury esports market? There is now. It's called the AMR C01. Aston partnered with Curve Racing Simulators to create the I almost said ASMR. AMR C01, the first in a series of racing cockpits expected for delivery Q4 2020, so holiday, right around the corner here. Aston promises a fully immersive driving experience for the home user. AMR C01 uses a lightweight carbon fiber cockpit with a seating position that mirrors that of the Aston Martin Valkyrie. They say the seating position gives the simulator a hypercar feel. Curve Racing Simulators hand assembles this cockpit using high quality components. Okay, I'm going to show pictures before I tell you the price. I'm going to show you pictures before I tell you the frickin' price. Oh, where's my mirror? Hold on, folks. Here we go. Let's mirror this baby. Ba-ba-da-ba. There it is. All right, does that not look sexy? I mean, come on. You have to admit. It almost looks like it can take off. When you're done playing Racing Simulator, wings are going to shoot out the side of it, and it will take off and fly. That is the most beautiful looking cockpit I have ever seen. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Carbon fiber, hand assembled. Those are all terms I'm going to get to. Oh, shit, there it was. Did you see it? Are you ready for this? Are you guys sitting down? No, literally, you have to sit down for this. This cockpit, hand built by Aston Martin, carbon fiber. Massages your buttocks. Yeah, you can guess. Absolutely. Turn on your little microphone there. Talk to the users.
So, carbon fiber.
Oh, wait. Where the fuck are you?
Oh.
No, here we go. No, I got you.
Oh, hi everyone.
No, where are you? Hold on. I'm the audio guy. Property. Oh, hey, reset. Yeah, okay. Here we go. Microphone, PNP. Okay, now try.
Hi everyone.
There we are.
Oh, there I go. Carbon fiber, you said, right?
You want to see a picture of it before you guess? Might up the ante. Oh, you know how much mine cost over here, right? You know
Oops,
what I
sorry,
spent. No, you're fine.
No, I
Just slapping people.
I smacked it with my arm.
Yeah, you did.
You're gonna have to edit that.
You're fine.
Boom.
You're fine.
I'm gonna say 14 grand.
Okay.
$14,001, Bob.
Okay. 14,000
And $1.
and $1. All right, and $1. The correct. What did he say? The correct retail price is $67,000. Let me say that again.
That's like the
$67,000.
You might as well just get the real car.
Well, yeah, that's over $1 million, but 67,000.
Well, I'm just talking about like getting an actual car.
That's a
real
down
car.
payment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, well, like a car.
Like
Yeah,
a car.
Yeah, oh, I thought you were talking about the Valkyrie. Yeah.
Oh, insane! Don't put that on your wish list.
I'm horny. Holy moly! $66,916.77 to be exactly. So yeah. Santa Claus is coming to town.
He's not coming to your house.
He sees me in an Aston. 66,000. Fuck, man. Santa's out of business. Crazy. Yeah, it's beautiful, though. Think about this. The luxury esports business. What luxury esports tournaments are you going to? That's what I want to know. What tournaments are having these? Dude, I would fly to an event. If someone said, yeah, we've got about 50 of these laying around because we just have all this money to burn. Come on, dude. Esports? No, I don't see it. I don't see it. I mean, there's money in esports. There's a lot of money, but I don't see it. I don't see the promoters. I don't see the producers, the developers of everything. I don't see the event organizers investing that. When you can literally buy other ones for a couple of thousands, which is still a lot, but still 67. Jeez. I don't know. Do you have a copy of Super Mario 3D All-Stars? Did you get your copy? We did. We pre-ordered it from Best Buy. Went and picked it up last Friday. We love it. It's great. We're enjoying it. Going back playing Mario 64. Haven't even touched Sunshine or Galaxy yet, but we're excited to do that. But do you have a copy of... Is your copy crashing on your console a lot? Do you find that a lot? Like you're playing it and it just crashes, like it locks up and crashes? It's because you have a modded Switch, you big dummy. Gotcha. No, that's what people are saying anyway. A lot of people on Reddit, a lot of people are talking about this. There was some illegitimate copies that leaked online. Evidently, this is all news to me. I don't know. I don't pirate games, so I don't know. But there were some illegitimate copies going on, and people who download them install them on their modified Switch. However, Nintendo has done something to make them crash their systems or maybe it's a bad copy of the game. I'm not really sure what the deal is, but that's what's happening. Is reports are coming in that that the hacked versions are not complete and they're crashing the system. So yeah, but if you have I don't know how it works exactly, but I do know that if you have a modded or hacked Switch, you're not doing like the Nintendo updates, right? I mean, you have like your own firmware or your own OS or whatever the case may be. So it gets kind of dicey, as they say in the weather channel. It gets a little dicey. I will say, to give some sort of modded and hacked Switch some credit a little bit. I can't wait for like 10 years from now, or maybe not even that. I think the Switch will have a very long life. So I say that in hindsight. In 10 years, I'm actually very excited, and I cannot wait for them to completely move on and not support it at all, because then I will be able to take full advantage of the modding and hacking, and I want to. I did that with the Wii. I've done that with the Xbox. I've done that with some other consoles. I think that's fantastic. In fact, didn't I talk about this recently? I think the Wii U is going to have a really great afterlife from the modding community. I think that's a great little console. Sure, you're going to have to hold a little Tykes joystick. All right, you're going to hold that little Tykes, children's joystick, gamepad. It's ridiculous. But I still think that it has a screen. It's touchscreen. It has some great hardware. It's HDMI. It plays Wii games. It plays Wii U games. I think that's a great console. And I think the modding community with making their own apps, their own OS, same thing with Switch, man. I think this is going to be a great afterlife for these consoles. So I'm really looking forward to it down the road. Sad day. Oh God, I'm gonna make Steph cry. She's already crying. I can see tears of sadness streaming down her face. Nintendo 3DS, rest in peace. RIP. They've discontinued every model of the 3DS, like seemingly overnight. According to the Nintendo's Japanese website, the page listing for the new 3DS XL, the new 2DS XL, and 2DS are still live, but each product lists out of production under its name. Nintendo's US site, meanwhile, appears to have scrubbed all of the mention of the 3DS sometime in the past few hours as they're writing this post. This was last week. Homepage doesn't feature the handheld console anymore and does not have a support link at the bottom anymore. Damn. Think about it, folks. Let's just think about this for a second. Actually, this is a really great topic, too. I don't have a lot of time to talk about it, but it's kind of the end of an era. Let's just think about this for a moment. Nintendo, they are, I'm not saying they're one of, they are considered the handheld giant, and they have been for 30 years, since the original Game Boy. Others have tried. Sega has tried. Atari has tried. Sony has tried. Multiple times, in fact. PSP, Vita. Shit, the Vita is fucking already in the grave. Think about it. The only company who hasn't tried to take on Nintendo in the handheld market is Microsoft. They don't have a handheld. Do you think it's because they know better? I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's that people want to try, and they should. They should really try and see if they can get a little piece of the market. Personally, I love the PSP. I never really played the Vita. Steph's got one. We haven't really played it that much. I have the PSP, got a lot of great games. In fact, I'm going to do some live streaming of it at some point. I bought the cables. I have the official PlayStation component cables, so I can do 720p or whatever the resolution is on that, right out to my capture card. I can do that live. That'll be fun. Game Boy? Love Game Boy. Hello, Game Boy Advance? Love it. DS? Mind-blowing. The DS changed everything. The dual screen? And even in 2010 when the 3DS came out. I remember when that came out. I remember Gamester81 calling me up saying, Jason, you've got to come over and see this console. You have to come over. I have Ridge Racer. Get over here. He lured me in. He said, Jason, I have Ridge Racer. Yes, we'll play some AR games, but I have Ridge Racer. I said, I'm putting on boxers. I'm butt naked, but I'm putting on boxers. I'm ready to go. I'm running to his house. And I remember going over there. It was great. We sat there on his table and we played it. And I remember thinking to myself, this is really cool. I wasn't like blown away by it, but I thought the whole 3D with the slider on the side and you can adjust it. I thought it was a really cool, well-implemented thing. And I thought it was cool. You didn't need to actually have your glasses or 3D glasses to make it work. It was really cool, very innovative. Nintendo's always been innovative if they've been anything. The Switch is the ultimate handheld, right? It can be docked. It can be undocked. You can play 720p in handheld mode. You can take it with you. Like it's actually portable. It's not that it's not portable. It's not a Virtual Boy. Right here. It's not a Virtual Boy. The Switch is fantastic. Do you remember not too many years ago, I want to say maybe 3 years ago, when they were doing Nintendo Directs? Do you remember this? Right around the launch of the Switch? And the Nintendo Directs were I remember a few of them being 100% all about 3DS games. This wasn't that long ago. I mean, 3 years? This is not long ago, folks. And now we're actually putting it to rest. This is crazy. I just think it's crazy that... So here we are, 3 years later, from having Nintendo Directs about their most flagship, most profitable, highest grossing, most selling handheld ever, the 3DS, DS, that we're now putting it to rest only 3 years later. What a discussion. What a discussion. The king of handhelds, the Switch, kills off its own slice of the market in a market that it's competing in by itself. Whoa. That's some epiphany shit. Imagine you being a company and a product that you made new completely kills off an entire 30-year legacy of a market that you have ruled. Do you think they're going to reintroduce another DS? Spoiler alert, short answer, no. No. Why would they when the Switch is the ultimate handheld? Wow. I say all this, I'm getting goosebumps. I'm about ready to cry. She's drowning in her own tears. The reality is folks, this is, no one's talking about this. This blows me away. We are officially saying goodbye to Nintendo handhelds in that way.
I mean, honestly, when was the last big launch of a DS game? It's
been a long time.
I haven't really followed it, to be honest.
It's been a long time.
But usually it'll pop up in my news feed. And I haven't seen anything for a while.
It's just been radio silence, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, time to grab the DS now while they're still out there.
You're absolutely right. If you can get your hands on one, grab it now. Get it. Absolutely, because they're going away. It's just crazy. I just think that blows me away that we literally are just saying goodbye to the last 30 years of official. And I don't mean, you may say, well, Switch is the handheld. I get it, but I'm actually saying dedicated, official, handheld only system. Do you think, this is a great voicemail. Send me a voicemail on this. Talk to me about this. Do you think Nintendo will ever release another official handheld only console? That's the question. I'm going to say no. I bet no. Not when they have the ability to dock and take. No. I don't think so. So speaking of Nintendo, we talked about this last week a little bit. Nintendo does confirm it is working on a new console. So this is actually really interesting news. A few weeks ago, so rumors started to pop up Nintendo was working on a new console when they said in one of their press conferences, quarterly reports, that make your games 4K ready. Remember, I talked about this last week. They're saying, get your games 4K ready. So people are like, well, what's this all about? But they did announce a few details. According to an update shared on September 16th, Nintendo was working on, quote, integrated hardware, software, next gaming system. Integrated hardware, software, next gaming system. That's what they talked about. Quote. It elaborated with the following statement. In the future, Nintendo still plans to expand its business around the creation of unique integrated hardware, software products. Yes, I'm just reading about it here. That's really cool because we're going to want them to do that. We're going to want them to continue to invest in hardware, software business. They said, quote, "We allocate internal resources very carefully so that technologies we adopt can turn into a source of fun," Nintendo said. "We strive to create products that consumers didn't realize they wanted until the moment they're announced. To do this, we can't simply follow what other companies are doing or chase the latest technology trends," end quote. So, with all of that being said, it raises some questions. Hardware, software, as the mention. So is this a new console, right? And this is the whole conversation. That's why I put these back to back so we can talk about this. We just talked about the handheld. So am I contradicting myself now? Are they still going to release hardware, software? Are they going to release a new handheld maybe? I mean, it says that they're going to invest in a console. So they didn't specifically say handheld, but that can be misinterpreted into like a handheld is a console. You know, who thinks like that? You might. When they killed off the 3DS, the Switch taking full control, you know, here we are again with the same question. A Switch XL or Switch 4K, whatever the name may be, another handheld, new console altogether. What do you think? These are big questions. I think that's great. What we do know, they will be making consoles still, hardware, software. That's what we want. So good. But yeah, so anyway, we, what do I have here? I have some more notes about the, just a couple of blurbs about the Xbox Series X and the PS5 about the pre-order disasters. Oh yeah, I wanted to say one thing about Xbox. Man, I know you guys are listening and saying, like, Jason, you seem to be shitting all over PlayStation. I'm not trying to. You haven't shit on Microsoft, have you? I'm not trying to shit on anyone. I call it as I see it. And this here, we've talked about this. But Xbox, it's of my opinion that Microsoft is in the same boat as Nintendo with their terrible naming. What are they thinking? And at first, I didn't really think about it until we started to get the evolution of the naming. Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S. I mean, think about the actual generation. Like, think about what you can go and pre-order and buy right now. I say all this because according to Amazon's movers and shakers, which, mind you can go look that up on Amazon and see what's trending and what's selling really quick and a lot of. Movers and shakers, it's called. There's a chart in there. In the video game category, on the day the pre-orders went live for the Microsoft Xbox Series X and S, when it went live, the Xbox One surged by 431% in sales. Microsoft, on a side tangent, has said that they are aware of the selling out of all the pre-orders, and they're working at bringing more to the table, which I think they have in the last week. 431% on that day. Is that a coincidence? Yeah. That shows, it's of my opinion, okay? It's of my opinion. That because of their shitty naming, you have mom, dad, grandma, grandpa getting online, trying to get little Sissy and Bobby an Xbox Series X for the holiday season. Okay? And what's happening is they're going into Game Schlop and they're saying, I would like to order an Xbox for my son and daughter. And the lovely dude and chick behind the counter say, are you interested in an Xbox One, an Xbox One S, an Xbox Series S, or an Xbox Series X? That's the conversation. And mom and dad, basically, their head starts to spin and they say, what are you talking about? Here's how it sounds when grandma goes in. Here's how this, you guys, come on, relax. This is how it happens when grandma goes into Game Schlop. She walks in and she goes, grandma's after an Xbox. This is what happens. She walks in and she says this, and you guys know this is true. And I know you're going to LOL out loud. You're going to laugh out loud. Grandma walks in and she goes, I'm here to purchase a Nintendo. She's looking for an Xbox. But to grandma, everything in that store is Nintendo. Right? Am I right? Come on. That's exactly how it was in the 80s and 90s. That's exactly how it was. And you know that's true. You ask anyone, you go ask your grandparents right now, they're going to say it's all Nintendo. And that, to Nintendo's credit, they did it. They did that. It's all the same thing. So anyway, it surged 431%. I know people are going to be like, no, Jason, there's actual reasons. There's reasons that happened. What are the reasons? Please enlighten me. I want to know. Here's my only question. Was there a sale?
I think Amazon, there was an article that Amazon did mess up and did not have the pre-order available for like an hour or so when it was opened, and it was taking people to the wrong Xbox.
Oh, shit.
I think. I don't remember quite exactly what the article said.
If that's the case, yeah, that makes sense for 431%.
But I don't know. The article also mentioned that when, what was it? Oh, when PS4 or something, or the Xbox One was mentioned or pre-ordered, a lot of people got the 360. They ordered like a jump in 360 sales went up because they're trying to get it before it disappears.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there you have it.
You're going to fire me from the show, aren't you?
No, not at all. No, not at all. I know that there's something going on here. We cannot deny there's something going on here, whether they're misinformed, they're uneducated, or there was a mess up, or there was a sale, or there was something going on where they discounted it. That could very well be. Or Amazon fucked up. I mean, something happened guys, facts are facts, okay? The day of the Series X pre-order goes live, Xbox One skyrockets. Why didn't it do it the day before or a week earlier? Why didn't it do it last month? Why didn't it surge 400% last month? So I'm saying it's not a coincidence. I think we have an issue there. And I feel bad for people who pre-ordered that. For a little Sissy and Bobby during the holidays, they're going to open it up. It's going to be an Xbox One. They're going to be like, what is this? And Grandma's going to be like, we got you a Nintendo. It's not a Nintendo, Grandma. Grandma, it's not a Nintendo.
Get some help.
It's an Xbox, Grandma. Grandma.
You do realize you're creeping up there. You're going to be that. You're going to be still doing the podcast. People are going to be referring to you as Grandpa.
Fuck yeah, I hope they do. I'm going to go in there with my my walker or whatever. I'm going to have crutches. I'm going to be hip. I don't care. I'm going in. And I'm going to go into Game Schlop too. I'll be like, I'm going to kick that door down. I'm ninja kick that door. I'll be walking in there. I'll be like, get me a Nintendo. I'm looking for the PlayStation 10, but I need the Nintendo. Oh my God. I can't wait. That's gaming news. People are like, what in the fuck am I listening to? It's the Heine House Gaming and Tech Podcast. You know what's up. All right, I just have this one big blurb here, and we got about 10 minutes left. I got a big blurb here about tech. Speaking of Amazon, they actually caught a bunch of people doing this. $100,000 bribes were given out to help fraud Amazon sellers earn over $100 million. That's with an M. 6 people were indicted on allegations of paying over $100,000 in bribes to Amazon employees and contractors as part of a scheme to get third-party sellers unfair advantages on Amazon Marketplace. Among other things, the indictment says that Amazon workers who accepted these bribes reinstated sellers' accounts who had been suspended for offering dangerous products, and that these workers suspended the seller accounts of fraudulent seller competitors. So their accounts, these fraudulent sellers were suspended for selling bogus, dangerous, or garbage stuff that didn't fit in Amazon's terms of whatever it's called, terms of service, terms of use, whatever they call it. And then people on the inside were accepting $100,000 in bribes to go in and reinstate their accounts so that they could make money. I just basically re-summarized what I just said. I just had to say it to myself because this shit is crazy. This is crazy. The U.S. Department of Justice today announced the indictment handed down by the grand jury in the Western District of Washington. The defendants, quote, the defendants paid bribes to at least 10 different Amazon employees and contractors. The Department of Justice said in one case, a 31-year-old defendant accepted bribes as a seller support associate before becoming the outside consultant who recruited and paid bribes to his former colleagues, the Department of Justice said. They also said the Department of Justice said, helped reinstate products and merchant accounts that Amazon has suspended or blocked entirely from doing business in the Amazon marketplace, and that the fraudulently reinstated products included dietary supplements that had been suspended because customer safety complaints on supplements, dietary supplements. They're selling stuff that you put in your mouth that are not safe. That's crazy. Other things too, household electronics that have been flagged as flammable, unsafe, consumer goods that have been flagged as copying intellectual property violations, like people taking trademarks and trade names or copying and just pasting it onto their product and selling it as real. Trademark infringement, intellectual property, other goods. Fraudulent reinstated seller accounts included ones Amazon has suspended for manipulating product reviews as well, indecisive customer reviews, making improper contact with customers, and other violations of Amazon seller policies and codes of conduct. There it is, codes of conduct. That's what I was looking for. The DOJ said the previously suspended merchants made over $100 million from Amazon sales after they were reinstated. $100 million. Think about that. $100 million they've made since they were reinstated. So yeah, a little 100,000 to somebody to reinstate their account, 100K, taking that money and running. The scheme started around July 2017 and continued until September 2020 of this year. They are all everyone indicted is facing 25 years in prison and up to $500,000 each in fines. That is happening right now.
Stop it. Get some help.
And that's all I have for tech news. That is insane. Wow. How about this?
Hello?
You've got voicemail. 503-908-5490 is the phone number. Get out your number 2 pencil. I would love to hear from you. 503-908-5490. Anything I talked about in this episode you want to talk about? I would love to hear it. How about that Nintendo handheld? They're going to be another one. How about those pre-orders? Did you get any of those? How about the fiasco? How about backwards compatibility? I would love to hear from you. Let's jump into the voicemail hotline here. I think we got one from the maniac himself. Oh, we better have one from the maniac himself, or I'm just going to shut the show down. I have no reason to do this show. It sure is. Mr. Maniac, it says here, Google Voice. What is that? Google Translate? Does it use Google Translate to do that? It must. It listens to the voicemail and translates it. It's pretty cool. I like it because it gives me a little snapshot in the first, it shows the whole thing, but it gives me a snapshot of the paragraph, and I can look to see what's going on here. Let me just stop the mirroring here. So we have official. Here we go. All right. Load up.
What's going on is the maniac of voicemails here, Mr. Cameron
Johnson.
Just wanted to, just a few things, no real questions this week, but man, congratulations, number one. On the game, super cool to see all the positive response, and, great soundtrack. Like I've mentioned to you before, I think I couldn't have thought of a better person to do a racing game soundtrack. It fits perfectly. It's totally your thing. Anyway, that's very cool. That's just super awesome. I'm really happy for you, man.
Thank you, man. Thank you.
Also, I'm hoping the surgery goes well. Of course, we're all thinking about you. It's anytime you have surgery, it's always, even if it's just, like a smallish thing, it's still nerve-wracking, and
it is.
I hope everything goes well, man.
Thank you.
And then number three, you mentioned, kind of putting yourself out there to get gigs and get jobs and stuff. Man, that's one of those things, like I can trace back, either knowing the people and putting myself out there or just doing it blindly, kind of like not necessarily cold calling, but just contacting people. Maybe it kind of is, and applying for things you may not think you're ready for. It can really get you some great opportunities you wouldn't get otherwise. So
it's true.
And also number two, the second part of that you mentioned before, you got to deliver. So you really got to put 110% when they hire you or when you get that job, and you got to always do your best in life and with work and whatnot. You always got to do your best. And then, as my dad always said, there's nothing else. If you do your best always, that's all you can do, and you don't feel bad if something doesn't work out because you did your best. So
my dad said the same thing.
Anyway,
Yep.
Enough with the motivational speech.
No, it's good. I like that.
Looking forward to the weekend, and hope everybody out there is having a great week. Congrats again, Mr. Heine, and we'll talk to you very soon.
Thank you, Cameron. I appreciate the voicemail. Thanks for calling. Always good to hear from you. Yeah, it's funny, my dad has always said the same thing too. He's like, you can only do the best you can do. And if you absolutely do your best, if shit falls apart, you don't feel bad because you literally did the best you can do. If you go in and half-ass anything and then it falls apart, you kind of are sitting there going, well, I kind of half-assed everything. So, you start to kind of like feel bad about it. But if you actually do invest and put in the time and put in the hard work and do the absolute best you can, you don't feel bad. You really don't. That's so wise to say. That is a great piece of advice. And I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you for your thoughts on the surgery. Yes, I've already talked about it earlier, but yeah, man, we're going to get through it. It's going to be awesome. It's going to be fine. I am, like you said, it is nerve-wracking for sure. I'm definitely a bit nervous about it, but it's cool. We're going to move on and do it. And I appreciate your support with that. And thanks for the compliments on Hot Shot as well. It's doing so well. The game is so, honestly, it's great. It's so great. I've beaten this to death, but it's so fantastic. I encourage everyone to go out and play it. And I still have some keys that the developers gave me to do giveaways, and I'm staggering them out. But follow me on Twitch and follow me on all my social media because I do giveaways, and I'm going to do more giveaways of Hot Shot Racing for PC. I have Steam game codes to give, so we may do that in the future. We will do that in the future. So make sure to follow me on all social media for that and take part. Yeah. You're talking about sorry for the motivational stuff. No, you know what? I love it. I love that. And today on my way home, I decided to buck up and do a vlog in the car as I was driving home. And I do car vlogs for Patreon, exclusive to them too. And this just happened to be in the car. But I want to start doing more live vlog type stuff. I want to start allowing people in to see a different side of my life and who I am. And, how we live, how we do it. We're all getting through this crazy world together. And I do like people who do vlogs and people who do open up and share bits and pieces of their life because you get to see how other people live. And it's nice to kind of like bounce that off with you. And hopefully it helps you. It's a weird kind of phenomenon almost. You watch other people and it's like, why even you listen to a podcast? You're listening to me talk right now because for whatever reason you like to tune in and you have some sort of connection that you feel with me. And that is something that I do not take for granted. And I'm constantly, I appreciate you all. And I try to thank you, even if I feel like I do it too much. I'll do it to an annoyance almost because I want you to know how much that I appreciate you because I don't think enough people say it. Not enough people actually say it and mean it. And that's the thing that is different. So when you're talking about motivational stuff and you're like, oh, no, man, keep it coming. I love it. I said something and I was bringing up my vlog stuff and I know I'm bouncing all over the place. I said something in my vlog this morning that and it was just random, but I wanted to say it again here on the podcast because it's just something that's on my mind and something that's recently happened. And I'm going to start it off by saying it's going to sound kind of bad, but then it's going to turn into the lesson, right? So sometimes lessons come out of things that are bad, right? So it's not all peaches and cream, right? Sometimes shit happens, and then you learn from that, and you become a better person when you learn from that. So this is kind of one of those situations. Now, I have great situational awareness of my situations. I have great perspective on people, and I have a great ability. I always have, because of being very observant and shy when I was young and quiet, and just watching and listening. So I have this ability to like read people really well. Sometimes that radar is wrong on me. Sometimes it is, because I always see the best in people first. I don't ever judge people like, oh, whatever. I always look at the best in people, and I let them prove to me wrong. That's the big thing. If you're going to be somebody that is going to be disrespectful or rude or two-faced or backstabbing, whatever you're going to do, if you're going to do that to me specifically, because I can only talk for myself, if you're going to do that, you're going to do that, and you're going to prove that to me, and then you're going to be put in that box. And that's kind of like a problem that I have. I will put you in that box, and there's no getting out of that box. You just kind of live in there forever. Like, I think time does heal everything. Time heals wounds, but there's always that thought, especially for people who are critical thinkers and artists who are very deep within their thoughts and deep inside their mind. It's hard for us to release that, especially for me it is. So I have a really difficult time with that. It's one of those things, man. It's like, I hate it. I do hate it. It's like, if you backstab me, or if you do something that's not cool willingly, like above and beyond a mistake, right? I can accept mistakes, but if you do something that's above and beyond that, that's like willingly, like you're trying to like take me down or suppress, or you're trying to do something to like, you're trying to be a weasel or something, like I'm going to see that. And it's going to be a really, really interesting turn of events for you. The thing about it is that, so recently, I know this person in real life, is that you have to be aware of people's intentions, all right? You have to really, really look at people and almost critically look and think about people's intentions, because they may not be exactly what you think. Now, like I said, I'm pretty good at making judgment calls on people, but people prove me wrong, and it seems to be happening a lot recently. And it actually recently happened a few months ago. But I'm not going to go into like specifics about it, because this is a real person and I'm a real person and it's a real situation. But what I will say is that one thing I'm finding that I am enjoying now doing with this person is extremely nosy, like very, so nosy, almost it's pathetic how nosy. And I don't know why they're so nosy with me. Again, I don't think I'm that interesting of a person. They must think I am, or whatever they think, or maybe that's what they do. I don't know, but they're so nosy. They ask questions, blatant questions. Like they will approach me and ask flat out a question that is none of their business, because they're so nosy and they cannot stand it. They're just steaming and fuming inside. They must know this information. They must know it. They have to know it. It's very interesting. It's almost a dysfunction, to be honest. It's almost probably a sickness at some point of something. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I don't know any of that, but it feels like, why are you doing this? Why are you being this way? So what's interesting, and what I'm now doing is, now that I've realized this, because this person has betrayed me, unfortunately, when they come over and they're being nosy, I like to kind of entertain this a little bit. And I do not divulge any information. Nothing. And I like it because they then get upset. Like, well, how dare you? How dare you not divulge information that I'm asking that's none of my business? You see that? See how interesting that is? You have to be careful. You have to be careful about, what you say to people. And you have to be careful about, who you let into your inner circle like that. Because this person at one point was in the inner circle and, was very, very cool. So I think we all have people like that in our lives. And if we don't now, you will later. And so it's just something to be cautious of. So my point here, folks, my point in this crazy, weird story is that do your best to actually stop for a second and look at your surroundings, look at the people around, and just be aware of your surroundings and be aware of what you think and what you perceive people's intentions might not actually be what their intentions are. Unfortunately, there are people out there that would rather tear you down than lift you up. And that's just the sad world that we live in. So be on guard. How's that for Motivational Monday? I appreciate you all listening. HeineHouse.com is the website. Background Beats is coming really soon. I didn't really even talk about it, but that's coming out mid-October, just so you know. It's going to be fantastic. Free to use, copyright free, no DMCA strikes. You can use it in your content, your YouTube videos, your live streams. If you're a content creator, if you're some sort of a person of content creation, you can use this stuff. And it's going to be fantastic. I'm releasing it. It's called Chillax. It's the first in a multi-album set. Chillax. Chill. R&B, kind of slow jam type stuff, some jazzy stuff. It's kind of a nice mixture of stuff. You'll love it. Follow me on Spotify, Apple Music, wherever. It's everywhere. Folks, love you bunches. How about some Patreon for you? Big shout out to all the patrons here. Thank you. Ground floor, main floor, Game Lofters, Brandon, George, Aaron, Luke, Justin. What up, y'all? Up there hanging out. Appreciate you guys. And thank you for keeping the podcast alive. And again, if you like it, please consider giving me a little review on your podcasting app. I would love it. Would love it, love it, love it. I think the last review I had on there was like 4 or 5 months old, so it's been a little while. It's feeling a little lonely. Mr. Lonely, I'm so lonely. I have nobody. Oh, fucking Akon. Where did he go? Where did he go? He came in, he ruled the 2000s, and then he left. I liked Akon. He's got a really unique voice. Anyway, all right, I'm good. Much love to you guys. Hey, catch you on the next episode. Bye now.